Okay, so I just recorded this entire video and I watched it back and I realized I look like a little roly-poly because of the way I'm sitting and just whatever. And I was like, oh, I don't really look very good. Maybe I should refilm it. But you know what? This is just kind of me, raw, unfiltered, how I look like 99% of the time. And I feel like it would be doing an injustice to you guys to re-record it just to look better because who cares? I'm getting my point across regardless. And I also consulted my BFF here, Kaylee, and she said I should not re-record.
Exactly. And you look like this 99.9% of the time anyway.
Exactly. Yeah, so we are not re-recording. Let's roll that shit.
Live your life within the moment. And don't go wait until the morning. You never know when it is over.
Hello guys, welcome to another video. I'm currently sitting on our porch enjoying a nice beautiful day. I just rode my bike to Phil's and I sat outside, got a little sunburnt, studied a bit, which leads me into this video. I think it's been a little while. I've had a bunch of life changes and I feel like it's time to update you guys finally. I've been dragging my feet on this because I'm like, I don't know what I should share. I don't know, whatever. So we'll just get right into it. What's been going on in my life lately? Arlo is shocked that I am finally sharing. But let's kind of run it back from the very beginning. I think when I first started vlogging with you guys, I was still working for an advertising agency. I was doing like social media for the agency, blah blah blah, whatever. I was doing that for about 2 years, like just under 2 years, and then my best friend Kaylee, she's been in the mortgage industry for 4 or 5 years, and she has been telling me since the beginning of time, like, you need to be in this industry, you can be doing so well, like, you have a sales background, like, you're great at sales, you're great at talking to people, like, this is what you should do, you can make a great amount of money, a great income, like, whatever. However, it is exponentially more time than my agency. I was working from home, remote, it was pretty nice, like, the hours were, I mean, set hours, but it was flexible, kind of depending on when one of my meetings fell. As long as I got the job done, it was like, you know, you're not being micromanaged, which was really nice. And then for the mortgage job, you're working like 40 to 60 hours a week, and you're just grinding like 10 to 12 hours a day, 5 days of the week, sometimes 6, because there are mandatory Saturdays, Sundays, kind of like whatever, and then you can also volunteer to work a Sunday. So I was like, okay, like, I'm at this stage in my life where I tried advertising, like, I love it, but you know what, like, I think that I can try this mortgage thing. So I don't know if you guys know anything about the mortgage industry, but you have to pass a national exam through the NMLS, and it's a really rigorous test. So the pass rate, I think, is only like 60-something% nationally. So it's really hard, and a lot of people don't pass their first time. It takes them 2 or 3 times. Like, it's fine. It's a process. It kind of depends, like, how you're studying, whatever. But the company that I went to work for, they have a really good, like, study program. It was called ACEs. So they're giving you the book for the exam. They're taking you through a super fast-paced crash course, so it's really difficult. However, it's like one of the most renowned programs to be able to pass the test. It's like one of the best. So I took the job there with Kaylee's company. I did that, studied really hard, and you're getting paid while you're training, but I mean, it's obviously kind of like minimum wage until you're in, but still, at least it's something. A lot of companies do not pay you for training or studying or whatever, so it's really nice. So I studied really hard for that, and when I say I studied really hard, to be honest, I really didn't study at all. I just am naturally a good test taker, and like during the course, like, I take good notes, and I made flashcards, kind of retained that, but I literally did not read more than 1 page of that, like, couple 100-page book, which a lot of people swear by. I guess I take a lazy method of studying, me personally. Like, I can't sit there and, like, read an entire book. That doesn't work for me. I like study guides, practice tests, kind of things like that. Sorry, I'm outside if you guys can hear the motorcycles and stuff going by. But I was kind of in this space where I wanted to start something new, but I was still kind of unsure. This is like what I truly wanted to do, but I was like, whatever, let's just pull the trigger, let's do it. So I kind of was in the position of, if I don't pass this test, I know why, because I honestly didn't put 100% into it, but if I do, then awesome. maybe that's not a great mindset to have when you want to do something, but that was kind of my mindset. It is what it is. I do not recommend that mindset. You should go hard, study all you can, and really try to pass it the first time. But anyways, I think the pass percentage, it had to be 74. I ended up getting an 83, so I passed. Great. So I get into the job, I start working, and this is a type of job that, like, you're not going to make a lot of money right out the gate, but you are going to end up building your pipeline and making a lot of money down the line. And then, unfortunately, at the time that I joined this industry, the industry started to collapse. I mean, it ebbs and flows, this industry. It's known, it's like historical, ups and downs, but I happened to join it when it's kind of crashing. And everybody is doing layoffs, and everybody is panicking and not making money like they used to. And, like, if you have been in the job for a while, you learn to ride out the waves in the market, but going in fresh, you're going into this down market kind of without any experience, and being brand new into this market when it's kind of crashing and burning is a little bit of a struggle. So long story short, I end up working, I don't know, I think from January up until like May or something like that, and then they start doing lots of layoffs. You know, you gotta do what you gotta do as a company, whatever. And like, I'm safe for a while, and then I end up going remote after. And mind you, I'm working like 50-hour weeks, and it's a grind. Minimum 50. I think actually I was like at 60 like one of the weeks, or like a couple of the weeks. It's a lot, and I was not used to that. My shift when I started at the agency was like 10 to 6, and then it moved to like 9 to 5. And I just rolled out of bed in pajamas and kind of logged on my computer. Here and there I had to be on camera, but it was completely different. It was a different paced day, and I'm waking up at like now 5:30 every day, getting ready, being in office, driving from Huntington all the way to Irvine to be there by 7. Realistically, I had to be there earlier sometimes, and I am not a morning person. If you know anything about me, it is so hard to get me up in the morning. I'm sure you've seen in Katie's vlog where she's being very quiet when we were living together because I was still asleep. That's just kind of just how I've always been. I'm a night owl. As I've gotten older, I've tried to fix that, but it's a challenge. I'm working on it. Some days I'll be able to get up at 5 a.m. and like do my whole thing, and then some days I won't be able to get out of bed until like 11. It's really, you know, it's an ever evolving process for me. We'll see. Eventually I'll get there. I know I'm gonna have kids to deal with, and that'll kind of just like shock me into the sleep schedule. Maybe when we get a puppy, they'll do the same thing. But anyways, eventually I go remote with this job, and you can still go into the office when you're a remote worker, blah, 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 blah. But it ends up just like most of my team gets laid off, and I end up being one of them as well, which for me, I've never been laid off in my life. I've never been fired. I've never not worked. Like, I've never not had a job. I think like back when I was like 18, I had like 1 month gap between like one of my jobs and the new jobs, but like I already had that job locked in. Like, I am never one to quit a job or whatever, stop working, and then not have something lined up. So this was very unexpected for me. I really wasn't planning it, and like me not being in the industry before, I was kind of, I don't know, I wasn't like looking ahead at this pattern of the market to what was going to happen. People in the market kind of saw it coming, but like me being new to it, like not really, I don't know, I just didn't know. And it ended up just being terrible timing. And I know my friend feels really bad because she was like, I've been telling you for years, like, I'm so sorry you came in. I'm like, no, that's my fault. I chose when to come in. But yeah, I ended up getting laid off, and that was like, I want to say a month ago. Yeah, right now it's like mid-August, and this happened like a little bit before my birthday, so I've been laid off for about a month. And at first it was a little bit scary because I'm like, I wasn't planning for this, like I'm not super prepared to not have a job, like what am I gonna do? What's my next move? Like what do I want to do? I'm 29, like I'm basically starting over. I guess I don't necessarily need to start over, but for me, like I feel like I'm starting over. So I was like, okay, you know what, like I'm gonna take this opportunity to figure out what I really want to do, something that I'm passionate about. I don't want to just work any other job or any old job again. like, obviously if I get to the point where like I absolutely need to, I will. But for me, I don't know, like I've always just kind of bounced from one thing to another. I mean, I've stayed for a while. I think the shortest period of time that I've had a job is like 2 years, so I'm not just like bouncing out on people. Like, I'm learning the things, seeing what I like. And I really did like my agency job, working in social media. I worked with like a big auto client. I was a community manager for them. I worked on the account team. Like, I wore many hats there, and it honestly, for the position I was in, like, it was too many hats. But I kind of knew that going into that original job, because it was a small like startup company. So I was like, cool, I'm gonna learn everything because I'm gonna have to wear so many hats. But it just kind of got to the point where I was like, okay, like, I have paid my dues to an extent, and I'm not really getting reimbursed for my worth there, I guess we'll put it. But either way, like, awesome experience, great. Like, I don't have anything bad to say about it, other than just maybe the pay didn't align with how many jobs I was doing. And it wasn't even that, like, I could have probably stayed and negotiated. Like, I just thought it was like time to move on at that point. I was ready to kind of do the next thing and see what else I wanted to. For me, I really wish that I had started experimenting with different industries like much younger. Being almost 30, it is very stressful to kind of be doing this over again. But I mean, it's never too late to start over. But just for me, I'm like, I wish I did this earlier. However, all the information and life experience that I have now, it wouldn't have really helped me earlier. So maybe it wouldn't have mattered. I don't know. But either way, I'm at where I'm at, and I have kind of landed on a new industry, and one that I think I will probably stick with, hopefully forever, because it is something that is just like near and dear to me. So I don't know if you guys know or if I've talked about it, but I played soccer for about 16, 17 years. I started at around 4 years old, and so being an athlete, being fit has just always been like very deeply ingrained in me. And the last, I would say, like a couple years, like I kind of fell off. In my last relationship, I won't get too far into it, but in my last relationship, like I wasn't very confident with my body. Like, the person that I was with wasn't very supportive. We'll just leave it at that. But I really just like wasn't myself the last couple years. I would kind of go to the gym for like a week, and then I would fall off for months again. I would do this, and I would start, and then I would just stop. Like, I just wasn't motivated. And granted, like, that's on me, that's totally in my control, but like the situation that I was in, like, I didn't really feel, I guess maybe that I didn't like myself and the person I had become, like, being in that situation. So I just never stayed consistent. I never like loved myself enough to stay consistent. And don't get me wrong, like, I am super confident, like, really exposing myself here, but like outside of relationships, I am 100% confident. You can say whatever you want to me, it is not gonna hurt me. I do not care. I will laugh, cool, I'm not even gonna hit you back. Like, cool, you do you. But within a relationship, I am very, very sensitive, and if you say like one thing to me, it's gonna cut me to the core, and it will affect me. It's gonna be in my head like forever. So I just think the situation that I was in, like, again, my responsibility for my health and fitness, but I think that affected me so deeply that I just didn't want to help myself. And then fast forward to today, I'm in a very, very healthy relationship with the most supportive person I've honestly ever met. Sorry, this chair is kind of rocking back and forth. The most supportive person I've ever met. And I mean, I don't know, I guess it took me like 28 years to meet this person, but all the cars keep going by, so it's really loud, and I don't want to risk you guys not hearing me. Hopefully this audio is good because I'm outside. But anyways, it took me like 28 years to meet, honestly, the person that I hopefully will end up being with. But like, never met anybody so supportive and so kind and just like wants me to win. But yeah, I am very fortunate to have met this man at the time that I did, because when I did meet him, I kind of had already like come to all these realizations on my own. I was already like getting back into fitness. Like, I was just healing myself. And I think at the point that we met, like, I don't know if I was ready, but like I had fixed myself. I didn't need to like rely on anybody anymore, so it wasn't me just like rebounding or anything like that. It was like truly like I met you at this really random time and it just ended up being perfect. Arlo. But yeah, so I have been in this like in and out of this like weird like rut the last couple of years, and again, like I cannot stress enough how it is nobody's fault but my own. Like I'll take full responsibility forever for that. Like I'm not gonna play the victim. Obviously sometimes I'll get sad and kind of whine and like kind of be in that victim mentality, but like overall, like I am very self-aware that it's on me at the end of the day. Like nobody controls me, my reactions, my emotions, my actions but me. So yeah, fast forward to like meeting Charlie. Like literally such an amazing person. Like hello if you're watching this also, but and then I mean, what else has happened? And then also when fast forward to the layoff and everything, and like I just feel like I was at such a crossroads in my life again. And like during this time, honestly up until I started this new job with the mortgage company, like I was in great shape, going to the gym, everything, on a great routine because my schedule was like manageable and it was relatively low stress. When I started the mortgage job, I totally fell off. Like here and there I was going to the gym, but like I was just freaking exhausted. And like granted, that's no excuse, but my body just is not built for that type of scheduling, so it was going to be a long time for me to like adjust to this new schedule. So I just completely fell off, and then like I was just tired, stressed, like emotional. Like it was hard, which I was totally down for it to be hard. I was ready to buckle down for like a year and just like suck it up. But then the industry kind of started to collapse, and when the layoff happened, I just kind of spiraled and I fell into this rut where I just like did not know what to do. It was at such a crossroads in my life. I'm like, I don't want to go work for another mortgage company right now because it's just the time. It's honestly not the employer, it's just the industry right now that's struggling. And granted, like I could go back when the market comes up, it would be fine. I'm sure I would do great at it, but I just was like spiraling. I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, do I want to do this for the rest of my life? Like, yeah, I could make great money, but do I want to sacrifice like all of my time? Like granted, I get it, that sounds terrible because obviously it's work, like you need to grind and whatever, but for me, like I value a work-life balance so much more than I value like making X amount of dollars. Like of course I need to, and I want to make money to sustain myself, to like grow in life, but work-life balance is just huge for me. Like that's so important. Like I would rather put money into experiences and whatever. So anyways, I was spiraling. I didn't know what to do. It was, I don't want to say that I was depressed because I don't think I've ever experienced like true depression. I don't want to take away from anybody that has, and I don't want to use that term loosely, but I was very upset, I guess, and like sad and just very down, and I didn't know what to do, and that was just causing me to just shut down and like do nothing. I'm sure you guys felt that too at some point, where it's just like there's so much going on emotionally and so much that you just completely shut down. Instead of taking a step that you know that you need to do, you just crumble. And obviously you have to teach yourself to not do that and to just do things that are productive and get up and get going. But you know, I have never really had anything like this happen to me, so I was just like overwhelmed and just shutting down. And so I was like, okay, like maybe I want to be in the fitness industry. Like number one, my dad used to always tell me, like, you should be a trainer. You get paid to work out, you get paid to look good, and like you've always been fit. And I'm like, yeah, like I don't know, like no, I don't think so. Fast forward to today, I went to personal training like to get myself back into it, kind of like towards the tail end of my last relationship, because I was like, I need to get myself back, and it is on me. So I started going to personal training, and that kind of reignited my love for it and like lifting and all of that. I love that. So I did that for a while. I was on it after I stopped going there. I think I did that for like 3 or 4 months just to get myself back into the groove, and then I stopped doing that again because I was like, all right, cool, I like got myself back in the groove, I'm motivated, and now I want to do it myself. So I was like already starting to self-motivate, do all those things, because like that's my problem. Like, I am not great at discipline and like self-motivation. And so I kept it up for a really long time, and then I kind of fell on and off again, and then after all the layoff thing happened, I completely fell off. I started getting out of shape. I gained a bunch of relationship weight. For myself, like, I put on a little bit of weight, but it was like happy relationship weight. So I was like, okay, like whatever, it's normal. Like, I'm happy, like I'm spending my time doing all these things. And obviously, like in the first like honeymoon stage or whatever, like fitness kind of fell to the wayside, which I was okay with for the time being. But then I was kind of like, all right, in the last like 2 weeks or so, I like kind of started being like, all right, like I'm not super comfortable in my own skin. And granted, like I looked fine, like still confident, but I was like, I know that I can be better. I know that I can do better. I want to be more comfortable in my skin because I know what I'm able to do, and I want to do it. And then I still kind of went in and out of being emotional. And then the turning point, I actually have to give like a lot of credit to Charlie for. I mean, again, still me doing the actions, but we kind of had an argument, and I don't want to say like too much because he's a very private person for the most part, but like we had a little bit of an argument, which is super normal. Like, we really don't fight like ever. And it wasn't really like an argument. It was more like, hey, like I see what's happening, and like this and this, like what do you need from me? Like, how can I like help you? And like it was more constructive conversation, like from both ways, from like what we wanted from each other. And he kind of pointed something out that like hit home. Like, people have said things to like this to me before, like my mom, my dad, my friends, like whatever. Hearing it from your partner like really just, I don't know, something like clicked, because he's with me like every single day. And of course, like my family and my friends like have my best interest, so they're saying it like from the same place. But like hearing it from a person that you're with every single day and that you just like adore, I think it hit differently for me because of how sensitive I am in relationships specifically, and not outside of them. So he like asked me a question because he knows what I want to do, and he's like, okay, do it, cool. But he asked me like, are you happy with what you're putting out there? Like the vlogs, like whatever. I kind of just was putting out stuff because like I needed to put it out. Like the fitness stuff, I was like doing it, but I wasn't really doing it. And he's just like, are you happy with what you're putting out there? Because if you are, like, fine, but like, are you truly happy like yourself with what you're putting out there? And I kind of like didn't know what to say to that, because I was like, wow, ouch. Like, no, like I'm not. He's like, are you happy? Are you proud of it? And I was just like, yeah. So like that one thing, like just that one question from him to me, like really just like snapped me out of it. I don't know what it was. It wasn't like it was a dig or anything. It was like completely supportive. But it was also like I said, I am self-aware. I'm just like ranting now, but I don't know. Like I guess I'm making this video for anybody that feels like they're stuck in a rut and like don't know how to get out of it, and they maybe like are just back and forth with themselves. Like I just kind of want to put my 2 cents and my little experience out there so that you guys know that you're not alone. It happens, and we're human. But yeah, that one little question, that one little trigger point just really got me. And then so I started waking up early. I started working out every day. I mean, I kind of was already on the grind of like starting to work out every day, but like I started to work out with intention. I started to do my course, which is another update that I haven't even talked about yet because I've just been ranting for like 20-30 minutes. I mean, if you guys have gotten this far, thank you so much for listening. If not, like I totally get it. I basically decided to become a certified personal trainer and to also get my nutrition license. So I am currently in the self-study phases for that, and then I'm going to schedule my personal training test soon, so it'll be certified through NASM, so that you guys can, if you want to, book me as your trainer. I'll help whip you into shape. And like yes, I wasn't necessarily coming from an ever like heavy weight, but like the mindset, the toxic mindset that I was in for a very long time, like I feel like I can kind of relate to a lot of people. And I did a couple years ago get pretty out of shape. I would never say like I was fat, anything like that, but like for me, I was very, very out of shape, more than I am now from like that last little fall off. But I feel like every time that I start working out, and it's not even about how I look, I just start like, when you're accomplishing like little things every day, working out, even if you're just going on a little walk, for me, like that's what I started to do. I started, if I'm sore, if I'm hurting, like I'm just gonna go on a walk. I'm gonna get my body moving. It's okay, like if I'm not running, it's okay if I'm not sprinting, lifting, doing whatever. Just every day it is my goal to get out of the house and just at least walk. So I just feel like that it has exponentially changed my mindset. It has changed my attitude, my mood, and it starts to motivate you, and it starts to bleed into other areas of your life. So just, I can't wait to help you guys, or whoever. I'm excited to help people kind of get out of that mindset and like get out of that rut, because I have been there. But those are kind of my updates. So if you guys would be interested in training with me or anything, let me know. My email is always in the description. You're always welcome to reach out to me there. Soon I'm going to start working on building a website that'll house like programs, things like that, and then you'll be able to like book sessions with me if you want to do personal training. I think that I'm going to do all online. I don't know if I will try to train in a facility. Maybe. I'm kind of open to it, but I'm not sure. But even if you just want to talk or you need someone to listen, my DMs, my email, it's always open for you guys. I really appreciate each and every one of you watching this. I know I am new on my YouTube journey, but even in this last couple of months since starting, or whenever I started, like, even if my videos get like 200 views, I'm like, that's really cool that 200 people were interested in what I had to say or do that day. And I am grateful for all of your super sweet comments. And you know, I know there's a couple of you that comment on like every single one of my videos, and I just want you to know how like deeply I appreciate that. I think it is so cool that even if it's a little community, it's still like a community. So yeah, I appreciate you guys, and let me know what other kind of content that you want to see from me, but expect more fitness stuff. And right now I'm kind of focusing on posting fitness on TikTok. Well, I'm going to be. But if you guys here on YouTube are interested in seeing any fitness content, let me know, because I'll make YouTube videos for it. Because if you guys don't want to see that, I'll keep lifestyle and like random stuff here, and then on my other socials do fitness. But your feedback means everything, and I'm, at the end of the day, like I said in my last video, I'm here for you guys, so let me know. But thanks for staying with me for this super long rant of a video. I really appreciate you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and turn your notifications on so you get notified for the next video that I promise I won't rant as much in. Alright guys, love you, have a great day.